Number 9, Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Economic Development. Does he stand by his statement, Taranaki is one of the leading regions, if not the leading region in the country?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, yes, and for a number of reasons, and if I could beg the House's indulgence, just go through a few quickly. It's an important question. Firstly, Taranaki is a strongly performing region economically. Its GDP per capita in Taranaki is the highest in the country. Secondly, its average household income is the 4th or 5th highest in the country. Thirdly, its unemployment rate has been below the national average for many years now, including through the GFC. Fourthly, its population has been growing strongly despite unsubstantiated rumours that there was a widespread exodus from the regions. Fifthly, it has a very good set of local MPs who talk their region up, national MPs, instead of talking it down. And sixthly, because it is a beautiful part of the country, one of the most beautiful parts of the country, but I might be biased because I was born there.
Supplementary.
Supplementary. Order. Order.
How does...
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. How does he reconcile that glowing summary and my earlier statement with the news yesterday that yet another 25 highly skilled workers will now lose their jobs, this time from the heavy engineering firm Fitzroy Engineering, which follows 15 job losses earlier this year at Tenex Engineering, another heavy engineering firm, 125 jobs from Fitzroy Yachts, and other engineering firms struggling to keep their workforces occupied?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, I think we've just had a demonstration of the point, and since you can talk a region down or talk a region up, the reality with employment in this country is we have roughly 250,000 jobs created each year and 250,000 jobs lost. Now, the member raises an interesting question about engineering jobs in Taranaki, and I can tell him in response a particular experience that I had recently when I was visiting a boat builder in Wanganui who wanted to hire some of the 120 workers who had lost their jobs in Taranaki. He couldn't hire any of them because they'd all been snapped up by other Taranaki businesses.
Same boat builder. Supplementary.
Order, order, order. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Can the Minister confirm that GDP per capita for Taranaki has now declined for its third successive year and is nearly $4,000 less than its peak in the last year of the most recent Labor government?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, I can't confirm that for the member, but I can confirm that in terms of GDP...
Point of order. Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, we're encouraged to ask direct questions. That was a very direct question. Remarkably, the Minister couldn't confirm it. There's nothing more to say in his answer.
Order. On this occasion, I entirely agree with Grant Robertson. The question,
speaking of the point of order,
question has been answered. I will hear, if this is a point of order the Minister's raising, I'll hear it.
And it's the first opportunity to address the point of order, Mr Speaker. And the point of order is I was going on to give some GDP information that may elucidate a response.
I appreciate what the Minister's raising. The point was, could he confirm that the GDP per capita declined for the last 3 years? And the Minister got up and said, no, I can't confirm that. That's the end of the matter.
Supplementary.
Question. Order. Order. Point of order, Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, have you effectively just ruled that members of this House can expect a yes-no answer? Because that is the effect of what you're ruling.
Order. No. Order. Order. What I have said is the Minister was asked a relatively direct question and the Minister said he cannot confirm that. That is sufficient answer today. I'm happy that that question's been addressed and now we are moving on.
Supplementary.
Order. This is a point of order, but I want to issue the same warning to the Honourable Jerry Brownlee that if you are now attempting to relitigate a decision I've just made, that will lead to disorder and I will treat it quite severely.
No.
Is it a fresh point of order?
Yes, it is.
Fresh point of order, the Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, having established that yes-no answers cannot be required from the House... hang on.
I will hear the member.
All things lead on. Do we now accept that erroneous material presented in the House has to be confirmed or denied by ministers?
No. My job here is to listen very carefully to the question and to listen very carefully to the answer. The circumstances are inevitably quite different with most questions. I listened very carefully to the question, I listened very carefully to the answer, and I have ruled that that question now has been addressed. Now, the member can disagree with that. He has every right to. But once I've made a decision, that is made.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Mr. Speaker, what commitments...
Order. Andrew Little,
what commitments is the Minister prepared to make to ensure the highly skilled engineering workers of Taranaki can be retained in the region? Will he commit to a long overdue upgrade of the State Highway 3 North, or join with Port Taranaki to upgrade their infrastructure and readiness for offshore oil emergencies, or anything to show the government takes regional development in this region and others seriously?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, absolutely. I will commit on behalf of this government that this government will continue to encourage investment in the oil and gas industry in this region, which it is encouraging today. And actually, all of the oil and gas industry and the other industries around New Zealand that I meet say thank goodness for this government, because we know if we had the other option of Labor and the Greens, there would be no growth and there would be no new investment.
Supplementary.
Order. Order. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Given the contribution of the Taranaki region to the New Zealand economy through royalties and heightened tax receipts, doesn't he accept it should get more back from central government than just the expansion of a 100-metre bridge, the only thing to show after 6 years being represented by a national MP?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, the member is wrong with his assertion. There has actually been an excellent summary published by the Treasury in the last year which shows that Taranaki has received more back than it's put in terms of government expenditure, as most smaller regions do because of the economies of scale of larger regions. Taranaki does benefit. Taranaki knows its benefits, and that's why it keeps electing national electorate MPs in the 3 seats in the region.
Question number 10. Jackie Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Associate Minister of Health and asks, what recent announcement has she made about elder abuse and neglect prevention?
Honourable. Order. Honourable Joe Goodhead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Earlier this week I announced that I have committed